The future of game consoles is an interesting one. Xbox chief Phil Spencer has said that the future of gaming depends on a software platform's ability to, I quote, service a developer's needs to serve an ongoing set of users, commenting on how games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Destiny are the kinds that players keep returning to, and that consoles need to keep up with the demand of this longevity. On the other hand, others think that consoles will fall in line with the speedy releases of tech like the iPhone. Regardless of what you believe, there's definitely lots to talk about concerning the kinds of consoles we'll be seeing on our store shelves one day. So today, we're bringing you our top 10 future video game consoles to prepare for list. Number 10 is the iPhone X. Let's start off this list with a console that you've heard a lot about recently, but probably wouldn't consider as a console. But maybe you should. Research firm Newzoo reported that in 2016, it was the first time in history that mobile game sales accounted for more revenue than console game sales. Mobile games made up for $36.9 billion of sales, while console only had $29 billion. Only. Apple's constantly trying to one-up the rest of the mobile phone industry, and even if you're an Android fan, you can't deny that they've done a good job of pushing the boundaries of what a mobile device can do, especially with gaming. And now with major strides in AR gaming, the A11 Fusion CPU, and a bigger, sharper screen to display your pocket gameplay, the iPhone X is definitely a contender when it comes to playing games on the go. Coming in at number 9 is the FOVO. So this one is cheating ever so slightly, since you can actually purchase it now. But it's brand spanking new, and will likely have more versions of it come out over the next few years. So needless to say, VR is picking up steam in the gaming world, and there's been some pretty impressive innovations over the last several years. The FOVO is a solid example of this. Unlike the Oculus Rift and PlayStation VR, both consoles we'll be getting back to a little later on this list, this guy has special eye tracking technology, which means games played on it can be more responsive to your eye lines, and allow for a sense of depth of field, which is super dope. It's currently adaptable to VR applications from Unity, Unreal Engine, and CryEngine. So yeah, really cool. Very curious to see where this one's gonna go in the near future. In at number 8 is SteamOS venturing into VR. While Steam Machines, the PCs equipped with Valve's Linux-based SteamOS system, really didn't take off, less than 500,000 were sold back in June in 2016, only a year after its initial release, that doesn't mean that the OS is entirely dead. There has been talk about a future in more SteamOS titles, and more interestingly, SteamOS being used for VR, on its own system that is. Earlier this year, Valve launched Steam VR support for Linux, making it possible for developers to create Linux games for the Vive. But the prospect of having a specially designed Steam machine to incorporate VR is still pretty up in the air, despite a niche market seeming to want it a lot. And at number 7 is the PlayStation VR follow-up. Many think that a follow-up to Sony's PSVR should be expected sometime in 2018, and according to a patent that Sony filed in the past year, some think that this new version of their VR system may have a wireless tracking device that connects to the PS4 through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Currently, the PSVR uses a camera to detect light from the headset, and what this patent hits to is the use of an external projector that makes use of lights and mirrors to map the player's real-world movements, which just means mobility-wise, it would enhance the shit out of your gameplay, allowing you to do way more. And as you guys can tell, this list is a lot of VR. And at number 6 is the HTC Vive 2. Rumors are already swirling about a follow-up to the Vive headset, which is apparently called codename Oasis. While not much about this is known yet, many tech experts have speculated that this version of the headset would be significantly cheaper due to the new base stations, and considering that the first headset came out in 2016, it's not likely we'll see a follow-up to this one anytime soon. But in the meantime, there has been work on the new Vive controllers that contain 21 sensors, well, your hands, and an audio strap similar to what the Oculus Rift currently has. In our number 5 spot is the Windows Mixed Reality headsets. So this is Microsoft's attempt at creating more affordable yet high-end VR tech, which means a mixture of virtual reality and augmented reality. Synced up with your PC, the Windows Mixed Reality has a pair of depth sensing cameras on its front, which lets users have room scale tracking without having to place a bunch of sensors around the room itself. The headsets are collaborations with third parties like Acer, HP, Dell, and Lenovo, and Asus, which is actually the coolest looking one out of the bunch. The aim is to eventually have the Windows Mixed Reality capable of using pass-through cameras to map out the space you're in and insert holograms, but for now the system is a bit more skewed towards VR than AR. Up next, number 4 is the Oculus Rift 2.0. Owned by Facebook, the Oculus Rift is probably the most prominent virtual reality headset to date. It's a versatile system that does much more than just gaming. Programs like Oculus Medium allow you to do some really impressive stuff, and there's a whole social component too. But that being said, it's safe to say that we won't see an Oculus Rift 2.0 anytime in the near future, mainly because of how adaptable the current Oculus Rift is, and how development keeps moving forward with the software. Yay, versatility. The company has stated that someone who buys a Rift today has years of enjoyment in front of them. One thing that could change this though is the need to develop eye tracking software into the program, since the Rift currently doesn't have a camera system inside of it. In our number 3 spot is the Xbox 2. Confirmed by Phil Spencer, the Xbox 2 is projected to have more of an emphasis on gaming in the cloud, which is something that many people think that Microsoft, given its overall experience as a company, would excel in. What do we hope to see though with this new Xbox 2? Much better graphics. The Xbox One sort of dropped the ball with this, and for fans to want to invest in an Xbox 2, it would require the console to be compatible with both 4K resolution and virtual reality gaming, which is something that the Xbox One X is supposed to debut in terms of native 4K gaming. The rough estimate though for this one is November 2020. Speaking of, in at our number 2 spot is the Xbox One X. So this one is hitting store shelves in November of 2017. Many see this system as a way for Microsoft to test out how successful the console will be, and whether or not the unicorn that is the Xbox 2 will move forward. So aside from making 4K gaming possible on an Xbox console, what else does the Xbox One bring to the table? Microsoft confirmed that it will be compatible with AR and VR headsets, but not much aside from that is known concerning this advancement. And finally, in at number 1 is the PlayStation 5. Ah yes, the inevitable, considering the success of the PS4, let's be honest. Now with the release of the PS Pro, many have speculated that we won't see a PS5 until closer to 2019. Fair. And Sony hasn't actually said much about a follow-up console, that is, at the time of this recording. So hey, if it's the future and this has already been announced and you're watching this video, well damn, you lucky fool, I am jealous. There's been speculation that the natural progression is to innately incorporate PSVR into the system, along with a solid hardware revision, in order to provide gamers with an experience that would be very hard to provide on other consoles. And there's a whole hell of a lot of amazing games lined up for the PS4 too. So quite similar to how the PS4 was launched with remastered versions of hits like Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us, we can only expect that a new generation console would provide the same luxuries. There we have it, friends. Which console are you guys the most excited for? How do you guys feel about VR? Let us know in those comments below. And as always, if you dug this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons too. But for now, I've been Kelly Pally for Top 10 Gaming, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. The future is now.